Hi there. I'm really honored that I've been asked to make this short video of something that Luke left for us to think about. I didn't know Luke personally, and I've come to know him afterwards through his mum, who's a wonderful person. And when she told me the legacy that Luke left for us to discover, it had a profound impact on me, and I know he wanted to share it with everyone. It's the sign of Jonah, and what that means is it's has a reference to a tiny book in the Bible. It's only 3 pages. You can read it easily. It's about this man who gets a calling from God to go to a city and preach. He doesn't do it. He goes the other way, goes on a ship, and a storm hits the ship, and the crew on board finds out it's him. They throw him overboard, and he is swallowed by a large fish. Now he's saved in that way, and after 3 days and 3 nights, this large fish spits out Jonah on a shore, and he goes to the city and he preaches, and the people there are saved. And something remarkable happened recently in Jerusalem. They found a sealed tomb. It was found in 1981, but you know how it is. You can't just go and dig in Jerusalem. Someone might be living on top of that site. So it was only in June 2010 that archaeologists were able to go inside this tomb, send their cameras in there and have a look what it was. And what they found was astonishing. It was a sealed tomb from the 1st century. It was a tomb with about 20 different ossuaries, I think they're called. That's a coffin, basically. And on one of these coffins, belonging to someone called Joseph, was a picture of Jesus and the resurrection. But he was pictured as a fish and or a whale. We think a large fish can be a whale, right? And the whale was spitting out a person. And then there was some text in Greek saying God raising up to the holy place. So we have an illustration and a picture. There were also 2 Marys and a Joseph, so we know it's probably depicting the resurrection of Jesus. Now, this might very well have been someone who knew him and who wanted to testify about the resurrection. This is from the 1st century, and you have to understand, even the Gospels weren't written at that time. So this is the first testimony ever made of the resurrection of Jesus, someone declaring their belief at the time. So an amazing discovery. And it's interesting that Jesus said himself to his I think it was to some people who asked him, give us proof of the coming kingdom, and when are you coming, and so on. And Jesus then said that a wicked generation shall seek after a sign, but they shall be given no sign except for the sign of the prophet Jonah. So here we have prophet Jonah again. And like Jonah was inside the whale for 3 days and 3 nights, so was Jesus in earth 3 days before he was resurrected, before his Father woke him up. And there is a parallel in that way, but it's interesting that Jesus should also have said that we will be given a sign of Jonah right before the kingdom comes. And then there was an extraordinary event taking place in the very same time as they found this tomb. And that is that outside Tel Aviv, in the Mediterranean, there was a sighting that stunned scientists all over the world because a great grey whale had come to visit. And scientists said that this was like seeing a dinosaur in your backyard. That this was unheard of, because the great grey whale had been extinct in our waters for 300 years, and it only lives in the North Pacific, which is on the other side of the globe. So whales don't travel or get astray that far distances unless they're looking for food, and even that great distance was considered impossible. But this whale came to Israel, and you can see videos on YouTube of this. It's splashing around, it's jumping, it's flicking its tail, and it brings so much joy to people. People are, clapping their hands, and everyone wants to see the whale. It brings so much joy. Google whale outside Israel. And what did it do there then? It stayed for 3 days, after which it disappeared. And scientists thought it must have swum the south way back home, but no, this whale started to swim up north, and then they lost track of it. And this is something that did it all for Luke. When I think his mum said that he didn't doubt things so much, I think, and that this story just did it for him, and it was it was his last words to his mum. Remember Jonah, Mum. They were talking about something, this and that, and his reply was, remember Jonah, Mum. That did it for him. And I hope you've enjoyed the story. Let it sink in for a while. Look it up on the internet, on YouTube, and you can also drop comments if you want to have more answers to open questions. Bye bye. Lots of love.